In my AP Physics class last year, we had to do a project, and part of that project we had to divide or average three numbers together. And I figured out a really quick, easy way to do it in your head that doesn't go along with the conventional method but still works and is a lot quicker in my opinion. So let's say you had the numbers 53, 54, and 56. If you had all three of those numbers, first what I try to do is I try to find two numbers that are easy for me to average in my head. So 54 and 56 are easy for me to average in my head. That's 55. And so I get rid of those numbers and I have this new average and 53. And then I try to find the difference between these two numbers, which is 2. And then I put that difference over 3. I know that 2 over 3 is equal to 0.6 repeating. And so then I subtract that from 55. And that's equal to 54.3 repeating. And so if I take my calculator and I do 53 plus 54 plus 56 and then divide by 3, it's 54.3. The only difference is I didn't add all these numbers, which would be 163, and then divide by 3. This to me doesn't make sense and it's slow, so that's why I was showing this method, and I'll show it again and let you guys try to see if you can figure it out. So let's say I had the numbers 28, 40, and 30. Now I've already kind of started to work through this problem, but I want to see if you guys can think through it first, and then I'll show how to walk through it. So instantly I try to find any combination that is easy for me to average in my head that doesn't involve decimals. There are a couple different ones here, but I'm going to stick with 40 and 30. The average of those is 35, so I don't have to worry about that. Now I have 28 and 35, and I want to find the difference between these, which is 7. And then I put that over 3. Now I've got to put this into a mixed fraction, which would be 2 and 1/3. And I know that 1/3 is equal to 0.3 repeating. So I subtract 2.3 repeating from this average, which would be 32.6 repeating. So if I do this again, if I do 28 plus 40 plus 30 and then divide by 3, it's 32.6 repeating. And so I find this method a lot easier to do in my head, and I can do it within seconds for me. It reduces it back to what you know on the multiplication table, and then the only real information you have to add is knowing that 1/3 is equal to 0.3 repeating, and that 2/3 is equal to 0.6 repeating. It kind of avoids the larger fractions like this you have to do in your head. So that's why I like this method better. I don't know if this is a method that's well known, but I think it's easier and a lot simpler to do in your head. So